Yo, this is a tarot reading for you for the month of August. It's coming from the mountains of Java. I hope you find it useful. I really hope that you get something useful from this, Scorpio. Scorpio, there's going to be some fairly major events during August. Not all happy. But what I want to assure you is that the overall energy, that middle card, is the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is you scoring some victories. Not necessarily winning the war, but scoring some victories and getting public recognition for it. So you're going to be challenged, but I think you're going to broadly overcome the challenges. And you've been hanging around looking at the lie of the land, unable to move. But now you're feeling short of money, like maybe even in poverty, a shortage of money. But in the future, you're going to emerge quite strong as somebody that's firm but fair. Maybe somebody that sets boundaries. So maybe there's things going on that you've been a bit soft on. I don't know. Then we have the Death card, a sudden and abrupt ending. It's not going to be welcome. But I've got a distinct feeling that it's something that needs to happen. And that actually leads to the outcome. But what would change the outcome or offset the outcome is conflict. It's not necessarily... it's disagreement, yes, but it's probably disagreement because you're all trying to do something a little bit differently. And it hasn't actually been communicated to everyone what the goal is. The outcome is the 8. Is it a 7 or an 8, that one? It's an 8 of Pentacles, and I call it the apprenticeship card. It's probably going back to learn a new skill or learn something new. It's not going to be easy. It's probably going to be laborious. But remember, you're scoring these victories, so I need to keep reminding myself of those victories. And now I'm going to have to unpack this quite a lot, really, for you, Scorpio. So please hang on as we hear my fuller interpretation of it. And if it's having resonance, please make a comment, subscribe and hit the bell so that you will hear of future posts on this channel. And thank you so much in anticipation, Scorpio. You may well be asking, why from Java? What's important about tarot from Java? And the truth is, there is nothing so important about tarot from Java. Simply that here in Java, we have many different spirits who will come to help in your tarot reading. It'll probably put a different reflection on things. For example, the spirits here are less likely to be concerned about love and finances, despite people in Java being every bit as interested in these things as the rest of us. But maybe the spirits are trying to tell us something else. Now I'll be using probably 2 decks, but out of 3 decks. So the first deck is Tarot Nusantara. The second deck is the Steampunk deck. And the third deck is the Light Visions Tarot. Tarot Nusantara is actually a new one to me, which I love. Whereas the Light Visions, I've struggled with as a result of the rendering. Although I think I'll grow into it, I will keep using it and coming back to it. You can see on all of them, I'm using quite a lot of salt, and that's to clear the energy and the spirits from them. Something that I do fairly regularly with my tarot. And I also, you'll see a number of Jimat there that I use just to bring a good energy to the tarot and to my reading. Perhaps the most important mystical object we use in Java is the kris, the curly knife that you can see that I've placed across both decks. Kris are very important for bringing the spirits to work on any object here in Java. And I call on the spirits of the mountain to assist me in shuffling the cards, in selecting the cards, and interpret them correctly for Scorpio for August 2022. Now you see, the energy that runs through this entire reading is the Six of Wands. This is you scoring some victories and getting some public recognition from it. You may cause jealousy, it may cause jealousy, but that's not really what it's about. It's really about the fact that you're winning some battles, not necessarily winning the war, but you've won some battles and people recognise what you've done. You look at it, well, they're marching through the streets in victory, aren't they? So it's a lovely energy to have running through this. It doesn't mean to say that your problems are over, but it does mean to say that you're overcoming some of them, certainly. And as I say, it runs through the reading. So whatever cards are here, and you know, we've already seen them, there's some that aren't so great, it does mean that I think you're on the right track. Now, in the past, we have the Hanged Man, and I did say that I think it was Sagittarius. They had a Hanged Man, and I thought it was something to do with the sort of health crisis, or you know, the crisis that across the world. And you know, I'm getting a similar feeling about you. I'm getting a similar feeling, maybe that even you're in business, or you know, your job, something is being affected by all that's going on in the world, and you're sort of hanging on, thinking, what should I do? I've got the feeling it's a business. I might be wrong, but yeah, you're thinking, what should I do? And to be honest, you know, there's nothing you can really do but just wait around and see what's happening. I mean, you look at the Hanged Man, well, you know, he's hanging upside down, and yeah, all he can do is watch. All he can do is watch and wait. Now, as I say, that is in the past, so maybe now you are in a better position to do something. And of course, we have to recognise that the overall energy is that of scoring some victories. So maybe you're in a better position now than you were even a few months ago. But I don't think you've liked this hanging around. I don't think it's been good for you. Because your current energy is the Five of Pentacles, which is you feeling a shortage of money. So, you know, using the analogy that I've been using, maybe as a result of the health crisis, your business or your job, you know, you're not making as much money as you used to. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like that. And, you know, yeah, you're feeling the pinch. I don't think you're necessarily, even though I say this is a card of poverty, I don't think you're necessarily in poverty. Because there's some positive stuff in this reading. No, I don't think you are. I think it's just that it's a loss of money. You know, money that used to be coming in is no longer coming in for you. I mean, you look at the card, well, yeah, there's snow on... No, there isn't snow on the ground on this one. But, you know, it looks bleak, doesn't it? There she is with what I presume to be a crippled grandfather. But, you know, they're walking in front of that chapel with that lovely light coming through the stained glass window. So there's always hope. And what I would say to you is this is a minor arcana, so it doesn't necessarily last. And indeed, you know, you look at the flow of the cards, the other cards, I'm not certain that this lasts, but, you know, it can't be pleasant at the moment. Now, your future energy is the Queen of Swords. Swords. People do love her. They do love her. But they love her because she's a firm but fair queen. They know where you stand with her. Very intuitive, very knowledgeable queen, and she uses that to make decisions, even judgments. And if you look at the card, well, she's sitting there in her power on her throne, and she's got that sword right upright, hasn't she? So you don't mess with her. She's a steel fist within a silk glove type of person. Now, I believe that's you, and I think that's you stepping into your power and saying, I've been messed around enough now, and now I'm going to do something for myself. So I do feel things are positive. I do feel things are positive for you. Yeah, it could be about setting boundaries. It could be about setting boundaries on others. But I've sort of always got the feeling that these are positions you can't really set boundaries on. All you can do is do something different. That's just the feeling I've got at this moment. And now we have the Death card, sudden and abrupt endings. Probably unwelcome endings. Now there's another tarot card reader, and whenever he gets cards like this, he always puts a positive spin on it. But you know, given that we've got that Six of Wands, you scoring some victories, I think it's right. I think something had to come to an end, and that's what this Death card is about. You look at it, well, there's the Angel of Death on the horse with the scythe, cutting down people. But there's that old man standing up to him, and behind his head is a Hindu temple. So there's always hope. Just as I said with the Five of Pentacles card, there's always hope. Now, you know, using the analogy that I have all along, that you say you're in business, this could mean an end to your business. But do you know, I mean, I've taught business at a major international business school. And one of the key things in business is to know when to get out. So many people lose the nest egg of money they've built up by keeping a business going when they should close it down. I mean, it might be about a job. But, you know, again, knowing when to move on is a necessary skill, isn't it? And now the card that would change the outcome or nullify the outcome is the Five of Wands, which is a card of conflict. But it isn't necessarily a malicious conflict. It's more people trying to achieve something, but pulling in different ways, as though the goal hasn't been communicated across all of them. I mean, it's never nice when you have conflict, is it? But as I say, it's not necessarily a malicious conflict, which the devil could indicate, so I might be wrong in how I've interpreted it so far. But no, this isn't necessarily malicious. You look at them, they're trying to achieve something, but they're all trying to do it completely different ways. And so there isn't that unity, there isn't that harmony on how we're going to achieve it. Interesting. The outcome is the Eight of Pentacles. This is, I call it the Apprentice card. Maybe about going back to college or university, maybe learning a new skill. So given what I've been saying about maybe you're in business maybe with others even, and maybe you realise that in order to take that business forward, you need to learn something new, that the world is changing and you have to be a part of it. Or maybe you're, say, going to university to completely change your career. It doesn't really say who's funding it, but, you know, if you're in a job, maybe you convince your employer to pay for you to be re-educated. I mean, it's going to be a slog, you're learning new skills. It's going to be laborious. It's not going to happen overnight. But remember, this is about you scoring some victories. I think it's probably a very good outcome in the light of the other cards we've had. But I think... So, yeah, I want clarification on this death card. I think I called him a devil earlier. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, on the death card. And the first one we get is temperance. Taking the middle ground, seeing the other side. The next card we have is is the Ten of Cups. Blissful, loving relationships. Is a relationship going to end? Gosh. There's no other indication of that. But then this next card, Three of Cups, that's celebrating with family and friends. Very interesting. I'm pretty certain that I'm right, that a job or business has to come to an end. But I think it causes conflict with loved ones, with people close to you. Or maybe it's simply that you're in business with others and they disagree with you. First card of clarity is this Temperance card. Now the Temperance card, I mean, it could be about you leading a more temperate life, but I think it's about you seeing the other point of view, you taking the middle ground, as it were, and you taking the middle ground, taking a conciliatory view, seeing everybody's point of view, but very much taking this middle ground. Now, look at the card. She's an angel, isn't she? So there's something divine about this. So this ending, this death has to happen. It's been sent by the universe, and it's actually been sent for your benefit. And remember that the ending is you going back to learn a new skill, or going back to university or something like that. This is a necessary thing that the universe wants you to do. Yeah. Now the next card of clarity is the Ten of Cups, which suggests blissful, loving relationships. Now, given that it's confirming the death card, does this mean a loving relationship comes to an end? Do you know, I'm not certain it does, because we've got that Six of Wands running through it, which is you scoring some victories. No, I think there's conflict with loved ones. They don't want you to give up your job. They don't want you to shut the business. They don't think you should go back into learning. I think there's conflict with them, but I think you win over it. It could end the relationship. I mean, this could be about ending a relationship. But I just don't think it is. I think there will be conflict because, let's face it, if you were feeling the pinch, feeling like a shortage of money, and now you're spending your money going to university or something like that, then of course others may disagree with you. But this is feeling like the right thing to do to me. And the final card of clarity is the Three of Cups cards. This is a celebration with family and friends, which does say to me that this death, this ending, is a necessary ending. And that like I say, if you're going back to university or you're learning a new skill, then why not celebrate with family and friends? Why not? Yeah, so I think it's been a little bit of a struggle. It has been painful. It's been somewhat unexpected. To a certain degree, the universe has not given you a choice on this, or much of a choice on it. But it's the right thing to be doing. It is the right thing to be doing. This change is a necessary change for you. If you look at the card, well, they are celebrating. But the one thing that always worries me about this rendering is the boy between two girls, and I think they both rather like him. And I don't know if there's a bit of jealousy, a bit of a potential problem there. But yeah, I don't think that's how I should read it, given the flow of these cards at least. So I think we can now summarise for you, Scorpio. Scorpio, you've been through some tough times, and there's more tough times coming up in August, but this is a reading full of hope and full of change. It's not going to be easy, but believe me, what's going on is in your best interest. There are necessary changes going to happen in your life, and I think recently you've been aware that things aren't right. I mean, it could be to do with the health crisis, it could be to do with the economic crisis, You're aware things aren't quite right, and you've been hanging around, not knowing what to do, not quite recognising how you should do things. But now you're certainly feeling the pinch. You're feeling a shortage of money. So, maybe you're in business and the business is no longer making money. I don't think you're actually in poverty. It's just that, things aren't as great as they used to be. Could be a job, but, you can see that you're not getting the overtime, you're not hitting bonuses or whatever it is. You're feeling the pinch somehow. And in truth, whatever it is going to come to an end. And the universe is going to impose this ending on you. And it's going to be a little bit bitter. I don't think it's as unexpected as you'd normally interpret this death card. I don't think it's so unexpected, because you really know in your heart of hearts it's going to happen. I think there's conflict about it. I think it's conflict with your loved one, because they're probably turning around and saying, how are we going to manage? Don't give up your job, or don't close the business. But it's the best thing that could happen. And when it does, why not celebrate with family and friends? Why not? Because you know what you're going to do. You're going to learn a new trade or a new skill, maybe go back to university. You're going to equip yourself with what you need to be successful in the future. And there is success throughout this whole thing. So as I say, it is a reading of hope. But there is that conflict there, and I think it's a conflict with a loved one. And I think it's more about communicating with them. I don't think it's a major conflict. But if you allow it to, if you just argue and don't see... the conciliation. You need to see their side and explain to them what you're doing, why you're doing it, and you will achieve this change in your life to learn something new, which is very much for the better, very much in your interest. So take heart, Scorpio. I know it's not going to be easy, but take heart. Major change is never easy, is it? But take heart. The universe wants you to do this, it really does. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed Tarot from Java as an addition to my channel, The Magic of Java. Please take a look at the other videos that I have on this channel about magic from Java, and I hope that you will become a subscriber. Now, if you want to hear your next tarot reading, hit the button, and that will inform you of when I publish new readings. I'm certainly going to do a reading for every month, but maybe I will try them a bit more frequently, say a mid-month reading, and maybe also some special readings. But above all, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, and enjoy Java.